We are live. How's it go? We're sorry, folks. We're a little late. There was a cornhole match going on that we were watching. I just have the message. Candy, we are live now.
Yeah, it was a tough loss by my boys. Tough loss by my boys. They came back. They clawed back in the game. They brought it to the double dip situation. Just had a couple bags that just didn't work. So Nico and Tyler just missed a tiny bit against Tony and Mark. But hey, you can't win them all.
No, but there is one other. There is one other Team Titans. You got one other bullet in that gun. That's Mr. Birchfield and Mr. Hisner.
The first team that could potentially three-peat.
Yes, this year. Yes.
I don't believe it's been done back to back to back.
No, because Kano and Batson. That's it. Oh no, were they partners for? Did they win 2 times in a row, or was it just Kano that won 2 times in a row?
I think it was Kano that won 2 times in a row because that was the year of bouncing partnerships.
Well, that was just this year already.
Well, yeah, but I think it's been bouncing partnerships still. I don't think he's won with the same person. We can go back and check the history books. It doesn't matter. Adam and Trey are on absolute fire right now.
They are. So what's been new with you this week?
This week has been a little crazy. The weather here in New England has been a little flighty. The one thing they say about New England is if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. That's the way it's been here in Boston. It rained a lot, but then it got nice out, Doug. So guess what happened?
You played cornhole outside?
No, I actually took the bike out.
Oh, okay.
So the bike is outside. Now, tomorrow's supposed to rain a little bit, but then this whole week's supposed to be in the 50s. But the one thing I kept seeing on my Facebook feed this week is something about centimeters. I don't know what that means, but, I heard there was a lot of white stuff in a certain area that was...
Derek's drunk. I got no idea what he's talking about.
Did I get the video yet? Which video? The video of you shoveling there, Derek? I mean, Jesus, I saw all the snow in your area. I mean, the newfies are... there's going to be a lot of babies born in this summer.
Possibly. It was a lot of find your car this morning, I think.
Dude, I think I saw about 20 pictures of just taillights of people finding the corner of their car.
Yeah, there's 2 cars. Find the third. So yeah, but
no, but it's been a good week. How about yourself? So I did play a little cornhole this week. I did get to play, I think once or twice this week. So
I didn't get to play it all. I skipped league night this week. I went to the local basketball team here, the KW Titans. The Newfoundland Rogues were playing in this weekend, so on Thursday night. So I went there because you got to support the home province of where the family's from. So we went there, and it was actually kind of cool because during warm up, the Rogues players were interacting with my son Grayson because of the crowd of a little over 1,000 I think that they had there. The lone Newfoundland Rogues jersey in the crowd. So they were kind of having some fun with them with that. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So is that
but then
Canadian Basketball Association, or what is that? Or is that
no, it's I just forget the name of the league, but there's some teams down in Pennsylvania that are in the league as well. There's a team from Reading in the league, and it's kind of coast to coast with Canada here. But it wasn't a bad game. But then I did found it. My thought was that the referees may have shown their that they picked up the Bachelors of Vision from the Canadian National Institute for the Blind for their university degree, because there was a lot of calls that they missed. But hey,
I actually did see a great Canadian video today on my Book of Face.
Oh yeah.
where you know that hockey game that you have the little piece of plastic with the little hockey net, and you can play it on the beach or whatever. You can play it anywhere you want to play it, but the net
Okay, yep.
tall. There was one guy he brought it to his buddy's house, had it on the front porch. He told his buddy to pick up the puck, and as soon as he picks up the puck, he's out penalty. If you pick up the puck in the crease, it's a shot.
Yeah, you got to get the penalty shot. Yeah, I had seen that there as well, and it was yeah. So we got Titan bags. So you've got the big 42-inch screen to your. That look, I even pointed the right way.
Yeah, to my left.
And I've got. Actually, my screen's over. I got to point that way as well too, because my screen is over here. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I actually have. So when we cleaned out my dad's house, I had a lot of stuff I had to bring home. And unfortunately, I had to bring home, all the TVs that they had there. I mean, there was 2 people living in the house, Doug, and they had 6 TVs on the wall. I'm like, what? I don't understand it. Like 6 TVs, every TV had a sound bar. I'm like, what do you guys just move the show? Like, I think they thought they're what do they have? They have Dish Network. You know how Dish Network has the hopper? They thought the hopper just moved room to room with them or something. Like they were living in the Microsoft mansion or something. It's the craziest thing ever. So I hung them up the wall here, but now we have Trey and Adam versus Tony and Mark.
Yes.
And I believe if you heard Mark Richards talking during that last game against Nico and Tyler, he was saying he was probably on the wrong side because his bag was pushing a little. So if you look right now,
they've swapped.
They've did the little flippity floppity there. So you got Tony going against Adam, and you have Mark going against Trey. And I believe right now these bags are going to be live.
Yes. So Derek was talking about some video. I've just got a video sent to me right now. I'm told I have to share it.
Okay.
So I'm going to share it here. See, I got no idea. Can you see that there?
I do see a video.
Okay, video.
What did they say?
That's I think. I'm not sure if I can. I don't know. It's kind of low. Maybe if they can send me another one.
It was a little low, but also I heard an F bomb and it's something about F me. But listen.
Let's see if I can get this again.
Oh, I heard what they said. It's
yes, let me shut them up for a second and get that out of there.
Listen, I'm trying to get to Newfoundland. Honestly, Doug, you know it. I really want to get there.
Did you actually see what they were drinking as well?
What were they drinking?
They all had Miller Lights in their hand as well.
Oh, well, at least they have real beer there. I mean, seriously, once again, Quebec, do better. I thought those were I
didn't have any. I didn't.
I thought they were the little Trulies and stuff like that. Because it was such a weird can.
Yeah.
But the blonde, it tasted a little flat, so I had to stay with the IPAs. And listen, you know me and IPAs all day. Some days, some days you keep going, some days you crash. And I hit the wall.
Yeah. That was one thing because they said, we went back to their place after on Saturday night and they're like, he says he drinks, but he didn't drink.
But it's it was like that guy that changed the NASCAR rules because he just floored the gas and just rode the rail all the way to turn 3 and 4. That's kind of was my weekend in Quebec.
Kind of, yeah.
After my 3 dinners the night before.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. I was actually talking to a guy about that today. That you managed to have order 3 meals. But hey.
But listen, if I do that in Newfoundland, I probably won't get any meals. I'm like, I don't know what you said, eh?
Yes, James, you like that shirt? I think it's a good shirt. It's better than the one that Wally has.
Where's that from?
That's St. Thomas. It's for a joke cornhole.
Okay.
So I thought I'd break that one out tonight.
Yeah,
which I'm not sure if James if they have another regional coming up here soon. I'm not sure if they just had one. Can't remember here.
Well,
I think
Canada
they
has a regional like every 20 minutes.
almost, yeah.
I mean,
What?
you almost can drive from regional to regional some days.
Well, and they're down there. There's even a couple Americans now that are in the Canadian standings because they go and play at the St. Thomas with Ford Joe guys. But
Yeah, those are those the Michigan guys or
yes, they are. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because it's really not that bad to get back and forth from like Michigan, the Toronto area right there. I mean, you can usually take the bridge right over.
Well, they're St. Thomas is more Windsor side of me here than the Toronto side.
Yeah, like I
So
told you,
they're
I don't know geography.
okay. So Michelle's saying they just had one. Next one will be April 6th, she believes, but I will believe the comment above hers being Mr. Forbes.
But just that it's a good shirt.
Well, yeah, well, if he makes a comment, But
No, it's good. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, the season really for the pros really hasn't kicked off yet. So I mean, yeah, 1 hour from Port Huron. Yep. Okay. But you know, the season for all of us has been going on, you know, since, you know, October. But, you know, the pros really this Open 11 is really the gateway to kind of the pro events.
okay, so James says yes. Their next one is April 6th. Ooh, Tony, bag off.
Tony's actually struggled a bit in these last couple games that I've been watching.
So if he goes in here, it'll be 8-on-7. Make it 4-3 now for Tony and Mark. But yeah, so things are starting to heat up here as well. Calgary coming up in just after April 6th, the week after April 6th. That we'll be heading down that way over westward. Our first adventure west of Ontario, which I'm really looking forward to. Probably seeing a lot of players again, like Quebec, that I don't normally see, and hoping to see some of the California players. I know there's one Florida player and one Colorado player that is teaming up from the Pro Division to come up to Calgary. So
Listen,
looking forward to that team.
These Canadian Opens are, you know, going to be like we talked about. We talked about it earlier, where you know some of these players got to get value for their money, and you know, going to Calgary, you know, may be a better play for some of these players. Not to win, but also like money, because you've got to pick and choose where you're going to go based on, you know, how much money you have for the season. So you got to pick a couple that are going to actually help you out with the pocketbook. And I think Calgary is actually a pretty value place to go based on some of the places that they play down here.
I think the tournament will be not too bad because it's then got players in the northwest that can come up to Calgary, right? So it's kind of, you know, another chance at open points for some of those players up in that corner of the country.
Well,
but
I think you're going to get a pretty good turnout. I think, you know, after this Open 11, I think some players are going to have to look at their schedule and see where they can go to get some points. You know what I mean? And maybe, you know, because some of the open points won't count for them as much, but you know, just to kind of get a win under your belt or get some forward momentum as a team, I think might see some people make some plans and change. Plus, Calgary is easy to get to.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one of these places where you're going to fly in and then you have a 2-hour drive by rent a car. I think it's going to be pretty easy for a lot of these people to go and play. Mark, that's a tough one right now with the Nationals. And I know they've been experimenting with that format a little bit where like you win, but then you have to wait to play again. You know, I think that kind of really started with Super Hole. I think I want to say when they really started to, you know, you win the tournament and you're like, hey, I won. And they're like, oh, wait, but there's 4 more other events and then, you know, like I think Matt and Doug had to wait almost 6 to 8 months to play the next round when they were in Super Hole.
Mark gets a bag hung up. So it's now 5-4 lead change.
Well, here's the one thing I'm going to say about this Open right now is we just got to the final four at what, like 9:50, 9:40, somewhere in there, right? If you were watching earlier, friends, the announcement that the bar was shutting down was at 8:45.
Yeah, I had heard that.
Yes, last call was at 8:45. So at 9:00, they called the close over the PA system. So the bar was shut down. So behind those black barricades, I don't know how many buckets are there, but there is no more alcohol in the venue right now, which is strange because I would think, and I don't know if it's a West Virginia law type thing. I don't know. I don't know what the liquor laws are out down there, but you think you would want to try to push that a tiny bit.
4 more for Adam and Trey, make it now 9-4. I feel like I'm calling this game. Are we? I don't know.
It's okay. Hey, listen, this is the play at home segment with all the viewers.
Yes, yeah, I will. I will. There's actually just kind of say coming up this week. I'm doing a special show with Trey.
Who?
Mr. Ryder comes. Yeah, that guy. So I'll ask him if this was okay for me to do, or us to do here, because we're not showing video. We're just making comments on.
But here's the thing: there is no copyrighted content going through. It's kind of like here in the States we call it fair use, right? You can kind of borrow some stuff as long as you don't break the copyright. So
well, since you've seen those old the TV shows where they're like the baseball commentator sitting in one little room, he's got the ticker tape, and he hits the sticks together. Oh, there was a hit, right?
But I think right now, Adam and Trey really have the Talent 2.0s working right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a great bag to begin with, but these two are really just making them dance. And
yeah, I really wasn't sure with them as a team at the start, but now they're really kind of come on just because of the dynamic of the two the word I'm looking for,
styles,
that and just personalities.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Listen, when I heard these two were playing together, I actually loved the matchup because Adam played with Cody for the longest time. And I think their relationship got to a point where they really didn't have to talk to each other during the game. And I think that might have hurt their growth as individuals within the game, right?
20 bag off the back.
And Trey really hasn't had a partner that can kind of elevate him and make him kind of play it on a different level. And I think Adam does that for him right now. You know what I mean? They've played together a lot in regionals and conference stuff, but I think it's truly going to help Trey more this year to kind of grow, not just as an individual, but also as a player. I think it's going to help him. And I think it's going to help Adam get back to where he was. He's never really fallen off, but I'm just saying, his level of 3 to 5 years ago.
The other thing is I think from all that I've heard about Trey, so Niagara was the first time I got to meet Trey. Actually, no, I'm lying. I got to meet him in Michigan and then in Rock Hill. First time I actually got to sit and talk with him. We'll say that. And from what I'd heard about him previous to that, to what Adam brought out in him, like a personality, like the kind of the joking around thing, was I think that's what helps him as well.
I think
kind of give him that little bit of a loosen up to kind of shed that robot kind of persona.
Well, when I got to talk to Trey a lot during COVID when we were doing the ghost cornhole. Yeah. He got put on a team that I was on, and I forced my team to do a Zoom call or a Facebook chat call. And he was always quiet, but he has a ton of insight in the game, and he really is kind of a quieter person. So I think Adam will help him break out of his shell a little bit. The thing with another Canadian Open this season, James, I'm not sure. I'm trying to make it. I do have a couple pieces still on my dance card this year. I have 2 events left, and I think they kind of mix up a little bit with some of the Canadian Opens. Yeah, Mark Drake said it was fun. Mark Drake was on that team when I literally forced Trey to teach us all how to play cornhole in the middle of the pandemic. I actually was kind of mean to him once. He had just finished a regional, and we had to have our game in by, I think it was like 6 or 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. So he literally drove home from the regional and threw his game in his driveway just to get his game to count because we needed it. But going up to Canada for me is going to be tough. I still have Triple Crown in April, where I'm going to be. I think I decided based on airline tickets that I'm doing the drive. So it's going to be a 20-hour drive out to Iowa. So I might leave on Wednesday and maybe stop somewhere in the maybe Cleveland, Chicago area. I might actually try to make it to Chicago to see if my best friend in the whole wide world, Jay Rubin, might be available to hang out.
And have best friend number like 1 or 20?
He's number 1.
Okay.
Listen, I have a lot of friends. People love me. I can't help it. I'm a lovable character. But
mark off the back.
And then I'll finish the drive out there, and then I have the greatest event in the whole wide world during Memorial Day weekend down here in the States, which will be Bag and Bash 2024, which will be Bag and Bash 4, which will be a lot of fun at the in Carrollton, run by none other than Titan Bags. I'm
still looking if I can get to there or not. We'll see.
Because that is a race weekend for you.
Well, it is, yeah, but it's that's going to even be tough for me to get in because right now it's time off because, with the real job, I've got these opens. I've got to take time off to go to it as well, right? So, Biggs, another one for the shirt. Another part of Florida Joe Cornhole.
You have another thing that's also kind of put a wrench into some of your plans, where you now have the second location for your job, which takes up even a little more time.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys got that running right yet?
Kind of. It's well, we've now got we've trained a bit of the part-time staff so I can be able to take more time off, but it's the amount of time off that I have to take. That's the issue with it, right? But
well, that is the rub, right? When you start looking at it, when you look at the pros, or you look at people that are going around doing commentary and trying to do, a show and other stuff, it takes a predominant factor of your time, right? Because you gotta figure out what the family time is. You got to figure out what the real job time is, and then you figure out the third and fourth jobs of actually understanding what's happening in cornhole, and then going and actually trying to put out some content.
Yeah, and I've even had the content team say, "Hey, can you put together like some highlights from Drummondville and all these other places?" I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah, I've got lots of time for that. Am I getting paid for this?"
Is this part of my per diem?
Yeah, but it's so it's even for they want me doing some conference stuff as well, and and unfortunately, I know there's some people get upset with me, but I can't be there during the Friday portion of the conference event because my time off is limited, and
just quit everything, Doug. Don't just do it.
Yeah.
Listen, if there was more money in kind of doing what we do, it might be worth, not having a real job and kind of doing it. But right now, there's not a lot in the traveling aspect of cornhole and doing live feeds.
Yeah, so that's a decision I'll be waiting another 2.5 years to make. It's about 2.5 years now for me to make whether I want to continue with the job or do cornhole stuff full time. So I would love to be able to do the cornhole stuff full time, but we'll see.
Listen, I'm still sending stuff to vendors of RVs to let them know that they should just give me an RV so I can travel the country, and they give me a payment so that I can go out and do stuff. But right now my real job pays way too well to leave it.
Well, that's where I'm kind of there's the reimbursement aspect is it might be almost even right now. So I've got to try and look at that, and that's the other thing I have to look at. So it's what it is. It is what it is. But it's
Listen, my sponsor takes great care of me. My sponsor's like part of my family. I love them to death, as you can see. You like my new Columbia jacket? This is beautiful. All swagged out tonight. But at the same time, when you really look at it, the hard part for me would be to transition into doing this full time. It's really not about the money as much as it is benefits.
Yep.
Right? Now, you might be a little different up there in Canada because you have the universal healthcare.
Well, we still have benefits, but my thing is that the benefits I get with my job, my wife gets the exact same ones. So,
yeah, see, me and my wife, the company I work for, we have the same insurance carrier, but my insurance is literally $150 less a month for more benefits.
Mhm.
So that's the tough part. So, and my wife already told me if there's anybody that's retiring and not working, it's going to be her. So I lose there too. So,
well, for me as well too, because with my job with retiring, there's a number factor, and I will hit that number factor 2 years before I'm actually should be hitting that number factor, just because I started in this industry when I was 15. So
what is the technical retirement age in Canada?
65.
Okay, so it's pretty close here. I think it's like 65 to 67, depending. But here's the problem. If you haven't saved up a lot of money, you really can't do that.
Yeah.
Because the cost of living right now is just so crazy that you can't afford to do it.
See, and with me, with hitting that number, I can go at 55 without a penalty. Right? So that's just my thing. But
that's like next week.
Almost. I'm not Russ Fisher's age yet, but So the other thing I was going to talk about
I think I'm older than you, so shut up.
Not by much, I don't think.
Listen, I have a birthday soon.
Well, I don't, but it's still.
And
there it is. Hisner and Burstfield take down Smith and Richards.
So this is the one game fight, right? This is final. So
it is. Yep. That was that. But so the other thing we're going to talk about is I'm going to be doing another show later on this week about it. But Wednesday marks the big anniversary of the biggest cornhole tournament to never happen, to have the greatest impact on the game of cornhole.
Wait a minute. Did I ever show you the greatest picture I ever took in cornhole? Hold on. I got to find it. It is the world's loneliest cornhole picture, okay? I'm going to hold it up for you.
I was going to see. Yeah, that's...
Do you see what that is?
Kind of, not really. Is that the ACL? Yes, that's the ACL trailer.
That is downtown Cleveland.
Yes. Right
in front of the hotel we were both supposed to stay at. But there was no cars driving through the city.
No.
It was literally a zombie apocalypse. The only time I saw a car is when I was on the scooter driving beer back to the hotel and the cops were behind me. But I call that picture lonely trailer.
But really, we like I say, we didn't have that tournament. The biggest tournament, because I was able to go down in that venue and see everything set up, right, and kind of see everyone. Like Stacy was there. I can't remember if Trey would have just got there possibly, because it was really early on the Friday morning. And just to see that venue set up, and it was just, that whole venue was under lockdown. Like they weren't even going to let us in.
one of my friends, Jeff Bashan, who was a former ACL pro, actually went in early because he was part of the setup crew. He was helping them get all the boards lined up, and he was sending me pictures from the top of the escalator at that venue. And he's like, "Oh my god, this thing is the greatest thing ever!" I think it was like 120 plus boards.
Oh, it was huge.
It was going to be
Huge down below.
a most amazing event in the world. Literally, the largest sign up in ACL history for unique players that were going to come play. Every hotel in the area was sold out. It was absolutely going to be bananas. Me, Brendan, and Pat, we got to Logan Airport in Boston at like 5 o'clock that night. We were flying out at like 6 or 7 to be there by 10 o'clock. And the whole time we're in the airport, we're like, oh my God, what's happening? The world's going to close down. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Land, the second we get in an Uber, the world shuts down.
Yep.
World shut down. We get to the hotel. The hotel's like, you guys staying? You going? What are you doing? So we like immediately go into like panic mode, trying to figure out flights and everything else.
Yep. Yeah, we had just crossed over into Michigan, and it was like we're halfway.
Yeah.
Do we continue on, or do we go back home? Matt had stuff for Octane to give to the ACL to sell. We're trekking on. We're going to keep going. Spent the night there. Woke up the next morning, had some breakfast, came home.
Listen, John Clark from Maine, him, Lance, and some friends, they literally did the drive from Maine. I want to say it was like somewhere around like an 18-hour drive or something like that for them. They drove there, got to the hotel, checked in. The world shut down. They checked out, got back in the car, and drove home. So, like, literally, they did like a round trip in the car, and it was just crazy. But, during that, some of us did get stuck there for a couple of days. So I was there. I don't think we came home till Saturday or Sunday. But
well, you still went to that tournament on the Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
I was supposed to go to as well. So I got the invite to that.
No, I didn't go to the CEDO tournament.
No, that was the Thursday night.
That was the third. Okay, but on Friday night we actually took over a hotel ballroom.
Well, yeah, because that was going to be the one with the Asps.
Yeah, so the Asps were there. Yeah, they came over and they hung out. But that is a tournament that almost never was because we didn't have enough boards. So one man that I have to say thank you to is Rob Chismark. Went to the ACL and bought 2 sets of boards.
Well, because when we went down there, they're like, "You want to buy some boards? We don't want to take. We don't want to. We just got done unloading all these boards, so we ended up taking like 2 sets with us."
Yeah, so Rob bought 2 sets, and literally we had 4 or 5. The big ass brought a set. So I think we had like 4 or 5 sets in that ballroom, and we ran a couple tournaments there. So if it wasn't for Rob Chismark, we wouldn't have had a tournament.
If I remember correctly, also with that tournament, I've seen some pictures. The world's largest leprechaun playing cornhole.
Oh, dude, that guy was sexy. He was damn handsome.
I'm not sure about that one.
Listen, I did outfits before outfits were cool. It's definitely not a Pikachu, but I did have a leprechaun outfit that I wore there. Because we did have to play the big ass boys, which wasn't very good. Because that's back in the day where I wasn't that good at cornhole. But now I'm amazing.
So now, like I said, the biggest cornhole tournament that never happened to probably have the greatest impact on the sport. Because how much did cornhole blow up after that day?
The biggest thing for cornhole, and this is not just for the ACL, this is for every cornhole organization out there, every cornhole maker. COVID really made it so that a lot of people thought they were cornhole makers or manufacturers, because we had 1,001, bags come out.
Yep.
Some survived, some didn't. But also, it brought a lot of the backyard players more into the spotlight because there's really nothing else to do. Mostly everybody was working remote. Had a lot of free time on their hands. So, bag sales, board sales went up. It was the time of $1,000 game changer Gen 1s,
Yeah.
right? Craziness.
Which I seen someone on Addicted to Cornhole today, I believe it was, looking for a set of Gen 1 game
Listen,
changers.
Gen 1s are hard to find because a lot of people that have them are holding them.
Yeah.
If you saw Mark Burgess, actually has a wall of Gen 1 game changers at his cornhole venue, which is his backyard, just to kind of keep him as wall art.
Yeah, and I have to say it also kind of really spawned that whole international game as well.
It really did, because when you really started to look at it, one of the people that really, really helped the game during that time was Bobby Fink.
Yeah.
Because he was running the Ghost Cornhole series. And that's where I think maybe you can't say this, but I can. But someone took the idea and ran an international series with it. But that's where you started to see a lot of the guys from Germany and France. And then we had a lot of our friends from Australia kind of jump in.
Yep.
So I think that really helped to define a growth plan for the ACL of, kind of where they should go to first to kind of continue to grow. Because like Japan was even pretty big back then.
Yeah, Japan, and there was one country in South America, Argentina had a there was a player from Argentina. Yeah, right. So that's where it really kind of just ballooned up as well. So it's COVID, we can say how bad it was for everybody, but for the game of cornhole, it really took it up, because then also for the ACL, what else was on TV? What other live sport was on TV?
Here's the thing. I think ESPN should bend down and, kiss the feet of the ACL a little bit, because if it wasn't for cornhole at that time, there were really no other professional sports out there playing.
Yeah, no.
Right? Basketball, it took them a little bit to figure out with the empty stadium, right? Hockey, it took them a while to figure out. Even WWE, right?
Yeah.
It took them a little bit until they started. I think baseball started with like the cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
And then WWE kind of raised it up a little bit with all the TV screens with their fans' faces. It was hard. And I think WWE even had to shrink and bring everybody down to Florida, because
they did, yes.
I think everything was done at the Performance Center.
Yep.
Where they do all the training for all the new wrestlers. So, it was a tough time for all sports. Our comeback was a little crazy with pillow fights and dodgeball, but we won't go there. Or air guitar.
Yeah.
Right? dark time during history. But it really did help the sport expand. And that's
we had. Could we say that we had our first officials at each court with the bag pickers?
You did, yeah.
Because you couldn't pick your own bags out of the hole. You had to have the bag picker.
Well,
your bags.
But it was a strange time because you had to have the bag picker.
Yeah.
And then it was strange because like you have a player like Brett Guy. Like Brett Guy gets set and stands there, whether it's first bag or last bag, right? And he doesn't move. He just stays there.
Yep.
But during that time, you literally had to throw your bag and then get the hell out of the box and stand on like an X somewhere to the side.
Yep.
Then that player threw, and then you got to go, right? And then timeouts were even weird, like to go down and look, like because everybody had to stay separate, right? And then I know everybody talks about the foot thing today, but back then it was the mask thing, right?
Yes.
Because you had some people that were wearing a real mask, an N9 or whatever the hell they call it mask, right? And then you had other players where their sponsors made them one of the little like ski buffs, right? It's a piece of
Yep.
cloth that's over their face, but as long as you had that on, you're okay.
Yep.
For me, it made it tough during that time because no matter what mask or buff I wore, because I had to wear my contacts at that time because my glasses would just fog over and I couldn't see a damn thing. It really didn't matter with my game at the time, but it was still crazy. Oh, what do we got right now? Trey and Adam moving up 12-6 right now.
No, 12-10.
Oh, 12.
Big end for Sebastian Schaefer Ford.
All right, the scroll on the bottom's got me a little much.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
Trey's
Both
bag.
ends score.
Trey's bag's been on that back corner a lot today, but he's actually done some work with it. There's
See a lot of people getting bags hung up on the back.
I would like to kind of look at these boards a little bit because there's some bags like earlier with during the Tony Nico match that should have pushed. I'm going to say it. I'm going to question the finish on that hole. Because if that hole is not sanded properly, you will get a couple more bags to bite.
Was it Tyler, one of the games, went for an airmail and it just stuck on the back?
Well, it's stuck in the back. He had a couple that swirled out. So, I mean, the thing with it is every board's going to be a little different. Plus, these boards have been under the lights all day, too. I don't know how many lights they have on that, but that can also affect it. Like, that is a laundry basket right there on top of the hole.
Yep. Even Jake Gore had some bags that weren't moving the way he wanted them to. So a lot of people were having issues with this set of boards.
Well, I think the tough part too here is you're on the turf, right? So it's not like you're playing on a solid surface. So like Adam is a very hard thrower, so that board is getting a little pop to it, right? So when you get that pop, that bag's going to act a little different.
Yeah. Just notice here now. It's my pet peeve with some of the live feeds that we do see when they have like just a side by side, just the people throwing, because you're looking that way to your TV. I'm looking the opposite way to my screen here.
But here's
should
the
be
thing
in the
right
middle.
But no, I thought that I would have said I would have wanted a drag there below the hole, but that bag fell at the last second. I would want to sweep under there. Because if you look just a couple seconds ago, Adam's bag was kind of hung up, but it looked like it was hung up with the bags underneath it, the pile. So right here, I don't know. Adam's got last bag. He's going up.
I think he goes airmail. Yeah, he has to go airmail here.
No, laid it up.
Puts it on. Just boards it. Interesting shot.
I don't think he wanted to fool with those two bags in front, but guess what? He knows Trey's got a hot hand right now, so keep it in it. Keep him going.
For sure, yeah.
Because now Trey can pull it.
Yeah. So just go back on what we were talking about. But I think COVID did help our game out. It made some people think that they may be a bit better than what they were, as well, right? Because you're throwing at a clean board the whole time.
Well, and that's the thing, right? When a lot of people were doing the ghost, you throw it at a clean board. You throw in 8 bags to get your round score sometimes, right? Depending on which ghost you're playing against. But it's still not a true representation of playing against somebody else, right? Because I know when I play certain people, I'm going to try to slide down the middle. But when I play others, they're a straight slider, so I'm going to try to block, right? So there wasn't a lot of strategy there, and I think it hurt a lot of pros that weren't, the top 50 in the league, because their game was very different when they had to go out and play versus what they were doing at home in the backyard.
Yeah.
And, some of those pros were only pros for a season because of that.
Yeah. So
It's tough. It really is tough. I mean, the big thing is when you're playing this game, a lot of people hate playing against better players, but you have to play against those better players to stay at a level, right? You look at Trey and Adam, they're playing they're playing in Cleveland. They still have some of the best players in the world that they're playing against.
Yeah.
You look at Jordan Power moved down to Carolina. I mean, I sent you that picture of the Open that was played at Rock Hill, and I'm like, I don't want to play there. I don't want to go to that. Like, it was like the who's who of cornhole that was playing in Rock Hill. I'm like, I don't want to show up at that conference. I don't have a chance of even coming in last.
Well, Jimmy Graham, 56 in a row. Like, I can throw 56 off in a row easily.
But dude, it was Jamie Graham, it was the Gores, it was Jordan, it was Tyler, it was like Trevor Brooks. I'm like, I love all those people, but like, get on the board. I get a little pucker going. You know what I mean? I was like, I just want to get the bag on the board and not look bad.
Well, I think there's three areas. You got the area in Rock Hill, the Carolina conferences, right? Toughest. Florida. And I'd put the Cleveland area in there as well.
I'm gonna put Kentucky over Florida though, because you got the guys, you've got a couple of you got Damon, you've got some of those. Yeah, so like I just think those four conferences right there are just like some of the toughest things to do. Now, would I love to play in them? Yes, I would go down to that Rock Hill conference and try to play because I want to understand what I'm doing and how I could do a little better, right? I know I'm not going to be a pro, but I want to be competitive at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I think it's good. Right now, 14-12 right now.
Yes.
Oh, 14-14. Game to 7 right here.
Is this an overall final?
This is a final. So this is one of the final four. So this is a one game.
Well, no, because the last game was one game.
No, but this is all one game. So when you get to the final 4 teams, it's all one game. It's a single elim when you get to the final four.
So but there was 4 brackets, correct?
Yeah, but I think whoever plays here wins. I think they might sit for a second to bring the other side of the brackets in.
Yeah, but they've already played one single elimination game.
Yeah, but I think there's 4 single elimination games, right? There was 4 brackets. There was a D bracket.
Yes. So each person wins their bracket. So
A, B, C, D, right? So 4 different brackets.
So then they would have just played their A and B. How's it going, Trev? He's hanging out with cousin Ben for a night, talking there, and he watches on a second laptop to watch us.
Well, I love him because he tries to get the views up. I love that.
Yeah. So they did have there was the 4 bracket winners.
Yeah.
Then they played Trey and Adam won one bracket. They just played Mark and Tony, who won a bracket.
Oh yeah, because I think the Swag Bag kids are the top seed right now, right?
Yeah. So I think this is the final for the overall doubles. I have my sound down, so I can't hear it. And there's no chat on my screen.
I got chat. I've got no chat, and because I'm on a big TV, I've got no chat, no sound.
Yeah, I got. So we're if anyone's in the chat watching and they know,
well,
Candy's not paying attention to us at all. We're gone as far as she's concerned.
But yeah, I think this may be the final.
I'm gonna look for Trey to go up with this one and try and grab everything there and pick up 4.
I might see a Rolly. Ooh, took 1.
He gets 1.9 on 8 because his bag went off the back.
Oh yes, the Chuck says yes. This is the final game.
Yes.
It's all good. Listen, it's been This has been a good open right here. Ooh,
Yeah,
look.
well, West Virginia's always the West Virginia Open's always been a good open.
Well, it's a great open because it also is kind of easier to get to, right? Because it's right in the middle for most of the players.
Yeah.
I did see Tony Smith message the other day about does the ACL pick venues based on the Texas Roadhouse or whatever that is.
Yeah, I'd seen that as well. So I know that wasn't 1 point, that was 3. It's up, they're up 17-14. Or no, I guess we totally missed Adam throwing back.
Yeah, we noticed Adam throwing back because Trey took the 1. I think Adam took 2. So I think that's what gets us at 3 points right there.
So people gotta be, this is gonna be a riveting conversation for people. Us just
working
off in different directions.
Listen, our commentary is so much better than the people on the ACL feed.
Yeah, and we're not mapping out our next location to go to.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, Doug. I did get some new, based on the arms that I saw you have up in Drummondville. I did buy some new arms for my tripod, so I can actually get my camera up and curved over the board to get that better over the board angle.
Okay, so yeah, I've been looking at those as well too. 1 point away here from this being over. I think there it is.
He's stepping out to get that bag. If he misses that shot,
this is over. He's calling the timeout to have a look at this. I think this is done. I'm thinking Adam is a little shocked at that.
Well, Adam's just sitting there drinking his beer. He's like, "Yeah, hold my beer. Don't worry about it." No, but I think he should stay down.
Might be a little warm. It might be a little warm because the bar did close. The bar did close an hour and a half ago.
Here's what I think he should do. He should hit Stevie in the head and try to pull that bag in a little more. Try to bring it back towards the lane. Don't go step out and try to get it, because if you miss, it's bad. And he hit Stevie, but did not throw it hard enough. Now Adam's going to step out and come around it.
I'm guessing now just a mini boom right there.
Listen, if he misses this, Adam's going up. He's going to throw the airmail.
And there it is. It's off. No, Adam stepped out.
You stepped out and went in. That is the game. And Adam and Trey win again.
And we just seen the boom there.
Boom.
So, yeah. No, how about hats off to Ford and Brewer. You know, two names we've never really heard before.
Dude, that's a good. Listen, here's the thing. They took down some killers today. Took down some amazing teams. Oh my God! With this camera angle, they look like stickers because the camera's focusing on them.
Yeah. Little 3D.
Little 3D action. All right. Well, that brings it down to. That is it right there, friends.
And Austin Schlobaum comes into the camera.
Yeah, Austin's right there. And that is it. So, anybody else in the chat, what do you want to hear about now that the ACL is over?
No, that's we can concentrate on other stuff that's going on.
Listen, here's the thing, but the going back to the whole Cleveland thing. From that, there was a lot of companies that popped up into the game, right? You really saw a much bigger explosion.
Candy's back.
Was that Candy's back?
Okay, sorry, you could have been just Candy. You could have just had us commentate the game here because that's what we were doing. We're now up to 8 viewers here now. We went down to like 6 or 7, but yeah.
But no, there was a lot of bag manufacturers that kind of show up during COVID. Some are still here, some aren't. Some kind of took it by storm and, really started to drive the bag market a little bit, where there was one company, that maybe was making some shady backroom deals and drove bag prices up. But I'm not going to talk about that right meow. But then there's some other companies that, kind of, faded away a little bit during COVID, where, they just couldn't make it work anymore because it, was a second job. And, they were trying to grow a brand, and just couldn't really, keep it going anymore. Especially where, that's the time where really the stamp came in and really started to kind of,
Yeah, just after that.
yeah, but really, started to, really drive what some bag makers had to kind of think about doing because of that. Because when you had the whole certification process, it made it a little bit harder for some of those guys.
So do we, Candy. So do we. But I just can't say the names.
Listen, I can give a list of companies that should fade away. But I just wish that we could get to more of a standard of bag pricing, right? Where you range right now from $80 to $170.
Mhm.
They're literally the same bags with pretty much all the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
And to really range that big, like why? Like the bag market is not where it was 3 years ago, right? I could have sold a set of Game Changer ones for almost $1,000 depending on condition and everything else like that, right? Set of Game Changer ones now, I'd be lucky if I got what I paid for them, 120 bucks, right? The resale market really isn't there.
Mhm.
There's one company that's still holding tight in resale, which is that little snake company. That's but you're also looking at that, you're also looking at, 125 bucks for a set of bags.
If I could, bags from that time, if I could get my hands on a set of Octane overdrives, I know there's a couple sets out there. One guy in Peterborough has a set. There is a set in New England, but I think the one of the bags in that set kind of broke, and there was no more being made, so I couldn't, because he'd won a contest. But
I have a lot of bags behind me that, I've saved, right? I've got a lot of, I still have some, I believe I still have some of my West Georgia original bags. I know I had kind of donated a bunch of those to some of the things in the area. I have a crap ton of dragon bags, like OG dragon bags, almost every series. I have a lot of retired Titans behind me. And I have a bunch of local and money bags. Money bags was some of my favorite ones, especially I had the one I still have a set of the pink ones. You remember the pink ones I had with my face on them with the
yeah,
BBs in the corner to actually give it a little more weight to fall in.
yes, I remember that there was a big thing about that there as well.
Yeah, a lot of people hated that bag because they thought it was
before they put BBs in fish, they put them in.
yeah. Before somebody won a lot of tournaments fishing, they put them in bags. But
I know some people were upset with me when I said that I just gave away to a friend for a wedding gift, as part of a wedding gift, 2 sets of 2018 slide rights.
Ooh.
Some old slide rights.
Well, we have a slide right tournament coming up here around me. My buddy Mark from High Voltage Cornhole is doing a slide right, but it's not slide right BYOP. It's slide right blind draw. I have a set of OG cheetahs, the yellow with the black dots that are. I love those bags. I have those in the car, but I also have, some of my first bags that I ever bought custom was from my best friend that I hung out with in Canada, Jeff Reynolds. Those were some of the
One, right?
he's like 2 or 3. I like Bill more than I like Jeff.
he's I think he's more of in the witness protection program because he was hiding from you.
Yeah, he ran away. But no, but I like some of the first custom bags I had were from Reynolds. The Pro Advantage was really the bag I really started to learn how to play like the real game of cornhole with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Slide rights is a great bag, but it really depends on the conditions you're playing in. But the Pro Advantage, was a bag that I could really, play better with because I could get it to kind of, it didn't kick on me. And, it stayed where I wanted it to kind of go. But, great bag.
As always, I can't talk about Pro Advantages without apologizing to Robbie Graham, Southwest Georgia Cornhole, 2018 at Worlds. He was my first partner. He was happy just to have a non-American partner, and I just absolutely bit it. I'd never touched a Pro Advantage bag before. I couldn't keep it on the board, and we were 2 and done in a blind draw, and yeah. It wasn't.
Hey, he's my best friend. Leave me alone. But I even, some of the bag companies that, kind of, you really don't see much anymore. Razor Bags, Matty King's original company, was, up here for a while. Brendan brought them up here from going down to the, Myrtle Beach area, and you really don't see those much up here anymore.
No, there's one guy, Trevor Huber. I was going to get his Razor Bags to kind of talk about the show here, but he would said, if he could get a new set of Razor Bags, he would, there was favorite bag, but.
Yeah, and the material on them has changed, and the fill has changed, so it's a little bit different bag now from what you're going to buy. But I think the next revolution in cornhole really has to be boards, right? Because there has to be some sort of standardization with boards, for it to, really start to kind of control the game, right? Because I know they had talked about doing, different speeds and stuff for boards, kind of bringing it more into almost like, what is that, bowling, right? Where they change the lane conditions.
Yeah.
I don't like that a lot. I think the venue really has to play more into the boards than the board itself. Where, I know when we were playing up in Drummondville, if you played closer to the live feed court, the boards kind of stayed warm and, they kind of played true. If you went over to the way opposite side, there was a little colder in that corner. So the boards kind of.
Well, then the door was right there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I like playing conditions better than I like playing boards. That's why I love Spencer's. I've seen a lot of people. There's a lot on Addicted to Cornhole this week about Spencer McKenzie's, right? Do I go to Worlds or do I go to Spencer McKenzie's? What's your opinion, Doug?
I want to go to Spencer's just for the experience because I've never been there. I want to go there, but never had the opportunity, never been asked to go and do any live feeds or anything there. But, maybe one day.
I've never been asked either. I just bully my sponsor to make me go. No, but like particularly for me, Spencer's is the better tournament, right? Because I'm the average player. So it really more is about the experience for me at Spencer's, where Worlds for me is more about people that want to become a pro or have aspirations of, kind of doing more inside the game of throwing, right? Where Spencer's really has turned into a festival. It's so much fun to go out there and hang out because not only do you get the kind of the cornhole glamour, you were getting a little more and more of Hollywood showing up, right? Like Chuck was there the last couple of years, but he really didn't do much. But this last year, he was more involved and kind of out there in the crowd. You get the SWAT guys that showed up. This year, Terry Kirby showed up to kind of, make a run.
Yep.
So Spencer's is more just a place where you can go and you get to see everybody and have more fun, right? Especially where with the pros, season's over. So it's a little more laid back and relaxed. And John is really doing a great job of growing that into more of a festival and spectacle. Like last year, we had an amazing car show. We had a lot of great bands. Sonny Lefford was there, and he had an amazing set. 3 live feed courts last year. Ultra did one, ACL did one, and Titan did the best one. And then you get the who's who of cornhole kind of hanging out there. So
yeah. So I want to say, you see James saying you want to go to you want to go to St. John's.
When is St. John's? What are the dates for St. John's?
My anniversary, June.
I don't remember the dates because we did not get married.
Yeah, around June 14th.
June 14th. Okay,
But
so
for anyone who wasn't watching, because it's Bike Week down there, I think you said.
yes, I think it's biking. Yes, yeah, I think we talked about this.
For anyone who wasn't watching off the top, we got a video sent to me during the show. Is it sharing there now? Yes, it is. Video sent off the top of the show here to him.
Listen,
the Newfoundland crew.
Here's the problem if I go to Newfoundland. The girls already tried to steal my pink hoodie.
In a chat group I'm in with them, there's already dibs on your hoodie and shirt. They're saying that you may have to buy extra clothes at the airport.
Just to come home?
No, just while you're there. Because someone will be waiting for you and they may take your clothes.
Listen, that jersey, that's one of my favorite jerseys. Cook made that for me last year at Spencer's. I didn't even know what he was. I just said, he just said he's going to make me a jersey. And I showed up at Spencer's, and day 2 of Spencer's, he unveiled it and gave it to me. And it became my favoriteest jersey in the whole wide world, just because everybody sees the back of that jersey and sees my face because it's more highlighted. But they don't recognize the front, that it also has my face on it, and it's kind of masked because it's a little darker. It's like it's a less of a fade. And everybody's like, oh my God, that thing is so scary, but amazing at the same time. But the pink hoodie is a huge hit. Every time I wear that pink hoodie, somebody tries to steal it.
Yeah,
I actually just ordered the orange one to go with it. So here's the thing. I gotta stay friends with Greba and all my family at Titan because if anything ever happens and like we're not friends anymore, my entire closet will be empty. John Clark joined the chat.
So see, he heard you talking about him earlier, so he had to join in.
I love that, man. He has a big tournament coming up in May. I want to say, John, tell me if I'm remembering correctly, May 18th, I believe. He has the Maine Family Cornhole Fund. That they're running a tournament there to raise some money. I was saying how amazing you are, John. That's what I was saying.
John, we were talking about how you drove all the way to Cleveland just to turn around and go home.
Yes, your 18-hour drive to check into the hotel and then drive right back.
It's the 4-year anniversary of your vacation.
Yes, the tournament.
You got all the way to Wally World and it was closed. And you had to go home. John Candy was not. Well, the Ask Brothers were waiting for you. Yeah, to go home.
Yeah. No, there's some big stuff coming up this summer. John's tournament in Maine on the 18th is coming up. We've got you want to bring him in?
I will send him one.
Send him a link. No, but John has a big tournament coming up on the 18th. We've got Bag and Bash 4 coming up. We've got St. John's will be soon. Hopefully the snow will melt by the time we get there. We should run an ACL contest in Newfoundland. Whose taillight is this?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Not Newfoundland. Newfoundland. There's the O and the O and the first D are silent.
Hey, Doug, I'm from Boston. It's where America started. So
I don't care.
It's Newfoundland.
Don't care. Don't care. There's a proper way to say it. and you're just not doing it.
Listen,
So-
I don't speak the Queen's English.
Neither do they. I got family there. I love them all there, but neither do they.
Listen, there was a couple times when I was talking to some of our friends where I needed a do-over in what they said.
It's like we say, we think fast and talk faster.
Whew. He was pretty quick.
Yeah, but
That's right,
we'll see if
Kenny.
we'll-
Kenny, we'll always be family. It's always going to happen. So I'll always have
We've
my
got- We've gone an hour and 10 here so far. It's well, there's gonna be no show next week. I think I gotta work next Saturday, so it'll be no show. So we'll go longer. Like I said in the thing on Facebook that we don't have a life, so we just sit here on Saturday nights.
Listen, if we go an hour and 6 minutes longer, we're at my birthday.
It's your birthday tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh, he is, and he's not out in the dark. I usually see him in the dark. I don't actually get to see him.
Hey!
He's in the light.
He's in the light. It's
Gentlemen.
amazing. He's not outside either. He's inside.
I just saw all 5 people watching, and I had to join in, so I didn't disappoint them.
So we were talking before about Cleveland and how it was the biggest cornhole tournament to never happen, to have
Greatest
the greatest
event that never
impact,
happened on the face of the earth. Yes.
and to have the biggest impact on cornhole to grow the sport.
I don't think you're wrong there. I think COVID happened and made the game what it is today. I think you're 100% correct.
Yeah, so John, we were talking about like all the bad companies that kind of jumped up there, and also talked about like a lot of players got a little bit better, kind of playing in the backyard, but some players didn't do as well when they got on against somebody, right? So Ghost really helped some people, but didn't help others.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a venue and an avenue to almost showcase or practice more or fine tune while things were not happening. So I think a lot of people can attribute their development. I think the game that we've seen since 2022 might be a very young group, which is far exceeding what we're doing right now.
Oh,
The young kids are absolutely insane right now.
well, listen, homeschool really helped most of them.
No doubt. And no obligations to anything. The development of team sports after COVID like ruined kids' team sport game, but it made them really good at cornhole somehow. So good for them, bad for the old people, which is us. And that's what it is.
Hey, listen, my
Well, I
game.
remember during COVID, our times when we were all shut down, and I was kind of throwing secretly in the shop. Johnny kept track of my progress
We all saw it.
and the lack thereof of progress because I heard about it all the time.
You were throwing them, they just weren't going in. But yeah.
You definitely let them leave your hand.
They definitely, they got bundled up, gathered together, and thrown, but not in.
Yeah,
There was definitely some trajectory that we just
I
didn't.
was
figure.
having fun. I was having fun.
It did not look fun from my vantage point, but you did do it.
It was fun. It was fun. I just have to keep telling myself that.
No, but the thing with it too is though, but it also brought a lot of us together, right? When we really think about that.
That was the best part. And a lot of these live streams and all those things, we have a really tight knit group of people now because we watched each other, supported each other, dogged on each other, just did something together while we couldn't do anything physically together. And that was really cool.
Well, we didn't talk before about how it was almost like every night we did a Zoom call. Like, well, you had the Zoom call going, Donnie, that would join in and be like 8 or 10 hours of just sitting. Well, because for myself, I was in quarantine after coming back from Cleveland, so I had nothing else to do.
Listen, my liver gained 3 pounds because of those Zoom calls. Because we would go until like late at night. We would start at like 6 or 7, and we'd go to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we almost watched one of our friends burn his house down.
But literally, that's all we had during those times.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it didn't matter if we were up till 4 a.m. because we didn't have to go to work the next day.
Nope. I literally just had to show up for a Zoom call for like an hour the next morning.
Right.
But you were there that night, John, I think, when Buxton almost burned his house down with his fried potatoes.
Oh, that was horrible. He's always been a well done guy, but that was extra.
No, but it was a great time. But it kept us all
Back with
apart,
Corn Dog.
brought us closer together.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. We were talking to guys in Hawaii, and I'm sitting out here with snow coming down on my porch, and these guys are sitting on the beach. And you just meet people, and that actually helped what we're doing with the whole Lewiston thing all along the way. Like, we just announced today that we just received a check from California for $15,000. You saw that.
I saw
Wow.
that. That's
And it's
that's
unbelievable. Like Vance Morris and those guys out there to say, hey, the guys on the other coast, we'd love to be able to support them. And they did, like, strong. And we're doing a lot of crazy things here, and I'm happy to talk about it, but we're making differences now, and we're helping people out, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about it, John. What do you guys you have the fund, so talk a little bit about what's going on there.
So obviously in the lieu of October 25th, when there was a shooting and we're all watching CNN or Fox or MSNBC or all these things, and it's like, holy shit, this happened. And then all of a sudden everybody hears, oh man, that was a cornhole event. So that was a secondary part of the whole night. A sick man who actually used to play with us decided that was his night of shine and took out a couple places. I don't even know the best way to say it without saying too much.
Yeah.
And as a community, after that happened, we obviously got a lot of recognition for saying, hey, we had, out of the 44 players in that night, there were 22 teams. 40 of those, or 28 of those players out of the 42 play with us on the regular. And it started to hit home. And then all of a sudden we make a Venmo and a GoFundMe and set up a bank account. And just the outpouring of support from everywhere from locally to California to Hawaii to south of Texas started reaching out. It was unbelievable. So it took a month to do it, but we finally made a 501(c) nonprofit. And now that we have a board, we're finally be able to distribute that money, which is incredible. If you follow our page on Maniacs Cornhole Family Fund, you can see the stories. Some guy tonight said, hey, I had a premature baby in October. The baby came 3 months early, but Maniacs just donated to us. And then all of a sudden, someone who was involved that night had some assists there. And, the stories go on. And we're not going to publicly say who everybody was just out of privacy, but we're not giving hands out. We're giving hands up to people, and they're our family. And as you know, it's not growing the game. It's not growing the family. It's just, we're helping where we can with the money. We're putting it in the right places. It's unbelievable.
Well, but it's supporting the people around you, right? It's helping your community and helping, like, the people that, are there for each other. I know for me, that was a rough week because, I'm pretty close to you guys up in Maine, and I've played with a lot of those people where stuff happened. But, like the next day, as soon as all your news was breaking, I lost my dad. So, what I mean?
It all piled on. It was you. And then we had Drew Baker from the North, who was an ACL pro. And it was a fluky weekend. The weekend after, it was 75 degrees. The kid pulls his motorcycle out and probably hits some wet leaves. We just lost Drew Baker. Like, he was a big part of what we do. Bruce Taylor with Wicked Cornhole was a big part of what we do. And it just stacked on and on and on. And we just have to do what we can do to be together as a family and figure something out, to be supportive, be together, commiserate together, but also build each other up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know you and me have gone back and forth over the years with just like some shit talking and other stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're all a family.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I've had some issues with some people in the area, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's a stupid beanbag game.
And that's it. That's it. And there's no harm or no hard feelings towards individual relationships. But when it comes down to it, we're all together. with a struggle and a loss. And you may not feel a loss, but you're like, hey, that's Clark's uncle, or that's Clark's brother.
Yep.
And you're going to commiserate with me and support me. And it's all family in the end. And we're really there to support each other. So that's where we're at. We had a rough fall, and we've been building and growing. And now we get to finally reap the benefit and support people. We've got $10,000 going out to local high schools for scholarship programs just to keep names alive, which is incredible. The families are involved in the selection processes of that. It's really great.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that's the one thing I really noticed in those Zoom calls with you guys was that there was all that, that back and forth to talk because it was all because you guys have got so many cornhole groups in your area. Those Zoom calls of people going back and forth, but then someone would have a benefit going on, and you guys in those Zoom calls just kind of really kind of mesh together on what you're going to do for those certain people, right?
Sure.
And that was the one thing that I think that you guys really showed to me with your area. But then it's almost all cornholes like that, right? It's just kind of one big, lack of a better term, it's family, right?
Donnie hates that word, but it is what it is. It truly is a family.
Yeah.
Or Donnie doesn't hate the word family. He hates the word, what is it? Growing the game.
Growing the game. Yeah, we're all growing the game.
It is a
and
little
growing the family.
cliche, and we use the word family more than we should. But I talk to my cornhole friends more than I talk to everybody outside of my immediate sisters. This is my family. I see these people 4 days a week.
Well, my thing is, it's for me, it's more family, right? Like, John, me and you have talked about this in the past. Sometimes growing the game is about growing someone's name sometimes, right?
Bet.
And for me, it's not about growing the label of, a bag manufacturer, board manufacturer, or a group. It's more about the family and taking care of each other and making sure that, you do those check-ins to make sure everybody's okay. The second I knew what was going on out there, I think you were the first person I text because I'm like,
that's appreciated. We know where we stand, and there was no second guessing that. You were the first person, and it is that family. It is. You can divide all the parties you want while it's happening, but at the end of the day, you reach out to your people and you make sure they're okay. And I felt that. And
listen, it's about your tribe, right?
Yes.
Listen,
it's
you
a tribe, family, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, by the way, I did get my tickets for Old Orchard Beach, by the way, just so you know. So I'm in.
I actually just got pulled into one because someone backed out. Because the Greg Hill show is a Massachusetts-based show, and the main people somehow get omitted from that sign-up process. So there's about 4 main teams and 196 Massachusetts teams.
Well, here's the thing, though. I literally had to favorite the page just to see when they were releasing tickets.
I refuse. I listen to the radio show every day. It's a great show. They help a lot of people. I will call out that Richard Bushway and a Kevin Lowry won last year in an absolute abortion of a rainstorm. They will never win that again. I'm going to call that right now. That will not happen.
You know what? And I seen Lowry make a comment on a post saying it's like I hadn't seen a name for a while because he was a staple of those Zoom calls.
Dude, here's the thing though. But Lowry was legless.
That guy is legless every day. That guy runs with the wind.
Dude, I don't even know how he saw the board. He had like 8 pounds of dip and like 3 Bud Lights.
Oh,
and
they had to do an oil cleanup of the beach. Like ExxonMobil came in and put their booms around to clean up the zone where he played.
It's like the Don commercial with the little ducks.
But I had to say his name just because if I didn't say it, he would catch wind if I didn't say his name.
Yeah, so. He would. He'd be all upset.
But there was so many, I go back to there was so many characters in those Zoom calls that I think we almost maybe should bring them back.
Listen, there was one night I thought John and Lance were going to burn down half of Maine with the fire they had going in the background.
Yeah,
you remember it better than I do.
Well, you guys were playing cool. by like fire pit.
Bonfires do happen here, and sometimes you got to resort to other forms of lighting, and that's what we had to do.
I think you guys had like 42 Christmas trees and like a bonfire. Just to,
There may have been some buckets involved that night, but
Johnny Buckets.
Johnny Buckets. But I'm really bummed out that I missed your event you had up there. It looked like a great time with some great talent, and I let you down, Donnie. And
Yeah, listen, here's the thing.
I'm on year 9 of a 10-year probationary period for Canada, and I tried to make a couple moves, and they said, "Yeah, you need to make a $2,000 donation to the Boys and Girls Club of Montreal," and I couldn't put it together.
John, don't worry. Hey, guess what? There's many years ahead, and we can go out there and beat up on the Canadian people.
Because Sherbrooke's essentially only an hour or 2.5 hours from me. I'm closer to that than Dougie was. So,
well, John,
that guy's still on the show, right? He's still there.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm still there. Yeah.
Well, John, my car tried to kill me on the way up to Canada. So going through,
I missed that part of your story, but
no, but going through Franconia Notch, my stupid automatic braking system kicked on and made me slide in the middle of a friggin' blizzard.
I'm glad you're okay, Donnie. I'm glad you're okay.
Listen, here's the thing: my car hates me. I think my wife programmed it.
But then he almost wasn't allowed back into the U.S.
Oh,
That's the other. We almost had to keep him.
Listen, John, when you pull up to the thing, you're supposed to stop at the red light till it turns green. I didn't do it. The guy was very angry.
You just got to roll with it, though. You got to roll.
I just roll. I'm like, the guy's like, you didn't stop. I'm like, dude, there's nobody around for 50 miles. I'm just trying to go home.
So I'm trying to open up my bat phone to find out. We want to interact with the people here, right? I've got a
well. Everyone's just kind of in awe of watching, but I think we're up on the hour and a half. I think we can probably go into the post show stuff now.
Oh, my favorite is human.
Donnie!
Hey, that is Ramsey.
This is Ramsey. It's true. I'm a special guest.
Your special guest. All right, so Doug, why don't you take us out? We'll go into the after show, and we can go in the.
Well,
no, this is kind of fun. The people
show.
demand this. You know, you're gonna have more views tonight than you normally have. Knowing that he's involved.
Well, we'll go into the after show party.
I don't know.
Themes? I don't know.
I don't know Travis April Myers, but it sounds like a Courtney Scott Morrison kind of person. I'd like to say hi to them.
He runs a fabulous Wallaceburg Cornhole League up here, but everyone, as they say, be good because we're all family. Have fun and just no drama, just throw bags.
So what we're doing in May is we're going to do the spring fling. We just put a little post out with 2 upside down pineapples to represent that we're going to do 2 Switch Holios, an advance and a social. A lot of people don't know what upside down pineapples are, but if you Google it, you will find out. But it's all about the switcheroo, and it's all about no teammates and drama and finding sandbaggers. We're going to play. We're going to have we already have BG involved. We have Rebel Bags, who's a huge sponsor of ours right now. We're going to go out. We're going to have some fun. There's some giveaways for like bed and breakfasts and cruises and all sorts of stuff. And maybe some weekends on Sebago Lake or up in Bar Harbor. We're still working on that. But if Doug, you make your way down here, we're going to set you up right. And it's
I will
further from you than most.
I need to get down there.
Donnie, you can stay in my shed, but Corn Dog, you may stay in the Taj Mahal of what we have here in Maine.
I'm going to go sleep with Ramsey's cats.
Those are available as well.
With that, I will definitely be coming down to you, John, because I need to get down to Maine and have some fun.
I don't know if we've ever physically met in person, but
I don't think we have.
No, because Doug also turned around in the fateful Cleveland.
No, I made it.
No.
I spent the night in Cleveland.
No, but when he turned around, you really hadn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
my physical story is I got there on like a Thursday night. We went to like a Cito Soto Ritz-Carlton blind draw. the Big Ass Boys, who were
Who?
making their debut, and they had a little cute booth that they made, and they were there.
What
And
you
then
drinking?
we got the announcement that night. It was over, so we turned around and left. And then all of a sudden, Donnie rolls in with McCrack and Brendan, and they're like, "We're on our way out." We drove, so they flew in, and I think they stayed that day to hang out with those boys and took off the next day. But we drove back. We kind of beat it back to Maine, hung out one night, and then the world was over. That's how it worked for us. It was only 13, 14 hours, but still, I mean, that's a ride.
That's a
Yeah,
roll.
we did 6. We were just 6 there and back. Well, six to go there, 6 to come back. So
Yeah. So
All right, everybody in the
Okay.
chat, look for a link.
yeah, and well, everyone in the chat here will go to Maine. Everyone that's watching is invited to go to Maine and stay in the shed with Donnie.
It's going to be a party.
Donnie can have the shed. Doug gets the red carpet.
The way it